So the topic is basically the vernier caliper, and where do we use this vernier caliper? Vernier caliper is basically a device that is used to measure the length, okay, the inner dia of object that is cylindrical, outer dia, as well as it measures the depth of the surfaces which are not easily measured by other instruments. So vernier caliper basically consists of very important you have to understand here is we have a main scale in the vernier caliper and we have the vernier scale in the vernier caliper. So I will try to show the main device how the vernier caliper basically looks like, and you can just have a look of a vernier caliper. Okay. So see, इधर देखो यहाँ. So when you are talking of a vernier caliper, it has this main scale. So we are defining this upper portion as a main scale, and this uh, upper scale is the main scale. And you can see the frontal jaw. This frontal jaw in the vernier caliper is fixed, whereas the second jaw in the vernier caliper slides with respect to the slider that is moving on the main scale. So we have a vernier scale mounted on the second jaw and it basically slides on the main scale. So if you want to measure any, you can say, suppose if you want to measure the length or you want to measure the width of this particular mobile, so you can just place this mobile here and you can just tighten the you can say this set screw. This is a set screw that has been mounted. This tends to set this vernier caliper and then you can take the readings on it. Okay. So now I have basically set the dimension, or you can say I have closed this sliding screw, and then whatever the dimensions I am getting on the main scale, I am just noting it down. So we have the upper, you can say, jaws, and these upper jaws basically measures the inside of any types of surfaces. So this upper jaw measures the inside of any types of surfaces, and basically this lower jaw helps us to measures the dimension of particular object. So very important to mainly understand this is how this depth of the bar also is an important measuring parameter in this vernier scale. How you measure the depth of any object or with this help of this depth bar. So when you are talking of a vernier caliper, so very important is you have to understand the first of all the components or the part description of a vernier caliper. In the part description we are mentioning that the jaws, the main scale and the vernier scale. Okay, so this instrument which I am holding right now is having all the components of a vernier caliper. Now very important part of the vernier caliper is to detect how this value mentioned on the vernier caliper and the value mentioned on the main scale, how you will do the reading part of the vernier caliper. So when you are reading on the vernier caliper, so very important here is, first of all, you should know what is the least count of a vernier caliper. So to find out the least count of a vernier caliper, it basically says that it is value of a one main scale division towards the total number of divisions on the vernier scale. So any type of scale you have, suppose you have this particular type of scale, to measure its least count, so the unit that is being mentioned on the main scale divided by the total number of units that are mentioned on the वर्नियर स्केल. समझ आया? ठीक है, तो इसका एक न्यूमरेटर में पार्ट आएगा और एक आपका डिनोमिनेटर में पार्ट आएगा, तो न्यूमिनेटर डिवाइडेड बाय डिनोमिनेटर विल गिव यू द लीस्ट काउंट ऑफ दिस टाइप ऑफ वर्नियर कैलिपर. So here I can see that my dimensions of this main scale that is given in centimeters, whereas similarly the dimensions is given in mm for this particular vernier scale. Okay, now if I say, if I want to just coincide my zero, अब इस स्केल का वर्नियर लिस्ट काउंट निकालना आपने, ठीक है ना, तो कैसे लिस्ट काउंट निकालोगे, इस स्केल के अंदर आप इसको चेक करोगे कि इसका जो वर्नियर कैलिपर की जो माउंटिंग है, क्या वो मेरा नॉन जीरो एरर है, वेदर इट इज माय पॉजिटिव एरर और वेदर इट इज माय नेगेटिव जीरो एरर. ठीक है, सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इज टू फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज अ नो जीरो एरर, एंड in the no zero error we have the coinciding of the main scale with the vernier scale. Similarly we have a positive zero error where we are coinciding your main with the vernier. Similarly a negative zero error where it is coinciding with the main with respect to the vernier scale. Okay, so this all things 1, 2 and 3, these three scales we will understand in details. ठीक है, details के अंदर हम study करेंगे. So if I want to give you an overview, I have given you the overview of a vernier caliper. So the main use, write down, so the main use of this vernier caliper is to measure internal and external diameter of an object. Simple definition.